Hello everybody and welcome back to GLC TV and our first gameplay video for 2025. For those who don't know, Gym Leader Challenge is an alternative format of the Pokemon TCG in which players build their 60 card deck by choosing a single type of Pokemon to use and can only include Pokemon from that type in their deck, and also can only include one copy of each card in their deck besides basic energies. Players can include cards from sets going back to the first black and white set, and cannot include any Ace-Spec cards or Rulebox cards like Pokemon EX, Radiant Pokemon, Prism Stars, etc. I am going to be playing against Corey. I am playing my fighting deck, and Corey's going to be playing the dragon deck. This is posted in 2025, but this game was actually played on October 21st, and I believe that is actually the last time I have been to League. So for those who don't know, I actually just had a new baby. We had the new baby on December 1st. And so the month leading up to that and the month since that, I have not been able to go to my local Gym Leader Challenge League at all. And it's been a kind of a bummer, but I have been having a great time getting to know our new little one. He's our second child. And so, for those who aren't aware, new children, very weak immune systems. You don't really want to be going out to places if you don't have to. So not going out to League just yet for a while. So I haven't gotten any new gameplay recording. So I had this one kind of in the tank. Wasn't going to use it, but now I think it's time to bust it out since I don't have any new gameplay. But if anybody at my local league over at the Clubhouse, if you guys are listening, if you guys want to record gameplay while you're there, just send it over to me. I'll totally put it up. But yeah, this is going to be me playing versus Corey. Now, despite this being an old video, this does have the newer cards from Surging Sparks, in my deck at least. So I'm going to be playing my fighting deck. This is the Pokestop fighting. I call it Extreme Speed Fighting. That was like the first gameplay video on this channel. It's been evolving. This was kind of a intermediary build. I've made a lot of changes since this build. And if you click on the link in the description, it'll actually take you to the most up-to-date version of the deck, which I may do a deck profile on, or maybe send one over to our friends at Moo Milk and have Pellet do it. I'm not sure yet, but so this is kind of a rough version, trying to incorporate the new Grapploct from Surging Sparks. Corey is playing a dragon deck. This is actually Jeffrey Baish's deck from All About Baish. That is an ancient dragon deck using Sada in combination with Raging Bolt and Koraidon to get some extra energy acceleration that way. Raging Bolt being one of the best dragons to come out in 2024, and then Koraidon being able to benefit from that energy acceleration plus draw. And he's using also the 151 Dragonite rather than the Fast Call Dragonite. And we're going to see how that Dragonite can be quite strong even without the Buddy Catch ability or Fast Call ability. Just due to, that free retreat's nice, but also 180 HP and 180 damage for 2 energy is nothing to scoff at in Dragon. So let's get this underway. Please make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button so you know when new videos are coming out. I don't know how often I'll be able to do this. One of the rough things about not working right now is, I don't have a nice quiet office to record these videos in, so I don't get as much opportunities to record. Also, I was very sick during the last 3 weeks of December, and that made it really hard to use my voice when I'm coughing and just not feeling good. So that's why I've been using that robot voice a little bit for those shorts, but feeling better. I've got a minute here to record some commentary, and we can do one of these videos. The idea is to be super consistent and fast in getting early knockouts with Pokemon like Donphan, Hisuian Arcanine. Excadrill can be really fast right off the bat with the 1 energy attack for 120. And then the Okidogi is the card that's going to carry you in the mid game. Just a super powerful card that can take multiple knockouts before going down due to having that 230 HP when it has a Darkness Energy attached. And I believe I'm going first, which is actually optimal for this deck. Most decks in GLC like to go second, but this deck likes to go first since it wants to evolve and attack for 1 energy. And starting off with Vampy in the active, I've got Drillbur on the bench. And gonna go for the quick ball here, discarding the Grant. Nice to get the Grant in the discard pile to use it for a discard cost, discard outlet, since it can return itself back to the hand by discarding 2 other cards, and then gives your fighting attacks plus 30 damage. And I'm gonna grab that Okidogi. I did steamroll Corey in the previous game we played that night with this matchup, just with an Okidogi going first in the active, and how the unit energy, which counts as both a fighting energy and a darkness energy, to power up that ability. Now, played the Okidogi down and powered up just because, you know, it made sense here. I had the energy ready to go. But it is going to come back to bite me a little bit in this game, having that Okidogi down so early. And Corey's got some good cards in his hand. He's got a Birdkeeper, Crispin, and has the Colress's Tenacity. So Tenacity is such a fantastic card in Dragon. Gets you both Pokemon you need in the form of Stormy Mountains. Can get your double dragon energy, of course, or any of your rainbow energies, or any of your basic energies if that's what you want to get. But then can also get your other powerful stadiums, like if you're playing Drampa, you can get the Gapejaw Bog for that. Lost City is a fantastic card in Dragon now that they have Raging Bolt for bench sniping. So gonna go grab the Stormy Mountains here and gonna check his deck. We've got the Double Dragon energy pulled up as well for the second target. And it looks like he also had a Mysterious Treasure, so really good opening hand for Corey. Just has that 1 Gibble right now, but gonna be able to grab either 2 basics or hold off and get the could get the Gabite with the Mysterious Treasure next turn. But I think Corey knows that this fighting deck can be very aggressive, and if he doesn't get that Gibble out of there, it might not be so great to hold off for the Gabite. Could also be prized. I don't know what his prizes are. So we're going to use the Stormy Mountains, looking for a basic, considering his options. Could get Reggie. I don't know if it runs Regidrago. That's actually a good question. Gonna get that Raging Bolt. Here we go. Here's the deck list. So he does have Tatsugiri. Could also get Dratini, Dreepy. Yeah, it doesn't actually run Regidrago, so can't get Regidrago, which would have been great to pivot out and draw some cards. Also having 130 HP to face into Donphan's potential. Fampi evolving into Donphan, hitting for 120. Although I do have Grant in the discard, so he has to factor that in as well. So early deck search, just weighing his options. Oh, did play the Mysterious Treasure and discarded a basic Fire Energy. And got the Dreepy there. I'm going to attach the Double Dragon to the Raging Bolt. Unfortunately, doesn't have a way to retreat, so not going to be able to attack, but might want to save it anyway, since there are no targets right now that he could get a knockout with the 60. All my basics have 70 HP or more. All right, back to my turn. Acrobike, going to find 2 cards. I believe it was a Lost Vacuum and a Luminous Energy. So I'm going to discard the Lost Vacuum. Again, I was trying some stuff out, trying out the Lost Vacuum instead of a Field Blower, trying to see if maybe Lost Zoning tools or stadiums was more valuable than the double, but I think I did go back to Field Blower. Now playing Hapu. Gonna look at the top 6, choose 2, and put the rest in the discard pile. So double fighting energy, special charge to the discard, and I did find I believe that was a stadium nav. So gonna try to find, so I know I have Ultra Ball in hand, Luminous Energy in hand. Stadium nav, I'm gonna try to get Pokestop here to try to fill my hand up with some items. That is the whole point of the deck, is to get Pokestop and just start drawing a ton of cards, ton of items. But 2 tails on the Stadium nav, very unfortunate. Basically a timer ball for stadiums, so it's rough when you do roll the double tails, and basically fails. Now down to 3, I believe down to 4 cards. So there's the Ultra Ball. So gonna need to get so Ultra Ball for the Dawn Fan. So discarding, not the Luminous Energy. I need the Luminous Energy. So yeah, Super Rod and Brooklet Hill gonna discard to get the Dawn Fan. And I do run Luminous. There is a bit of a debate of should you run Luminous or Aurora Energy in Okidogi builds. Luminous Energy has the problem of it doesn't work if it's attached with another special energy like Unit Energy, Rainbow Energy, or Strong Energy. Aurora Energy does work with those, but you have to discard a card to play it. In my experience, I think a lot of players lean towards Aurora Energy for Okidogi. In my experience, the discard cost of the Aurora in fighting has just been more difficult, more costly than the basic energy requirement. So here I couldn't have played it if I had Aurora. I would have had enough cards in hand to discard to both Aurora Energy and Ultra Ball. But because I run Luminous Energy is great for just attacking with my single energy attackers. With Dawn Fan, a lot of my guys attack for 1 energy, so attacked with the Dawn Fan, Earthquake here to knock out the Gibble and spread 20 damage to my Drillbur and Okidogi. Corey doing some side trades during our game here. Actually was helping somebody out with finding them Mallow and Lana they needed for their deck. Gonna promote the Raging Bolt, finds the Dragonite off the top. Does he have the Draclo? He's got Crispin, Birdkeeper, Dragonite. Looks like Sada's Research. Still has the Stormy Mountains because, yeah, again, I failed that Tails on the Stadium nav. So I had the double downside of not only did I not get the Stadium to start filling up my hand with items, left Corey's Stormy Mountains in play so he can continue to set up his board against my aggressive start with Dawn Fan here. So I'm going to go and grab that Dratini off the Stormy Mountains to start working up towards that Dragonite in his hand. And now has a viable target to knock out in the Drillbur, since I did do 20 damage to it. So now he could use Raging Bolt to hit it for 60 and take a knockout and stay up on prize race. Going to use the Sada's Vitality here to attach that basic fire energy to the Raging Bolt and draw 3. Probably mostly just wanted to draw 3 cards there to find some more action. Drew into a basic lightning and a basic water. So actually interesting here, he's attaching the lightning to the Dratini, but he could have actually attached it to the Raging Bolt, and I believe, oh, that would have done, no, that would have only done 120. It's 30 times each energy. So yeah, so he is going to just go ahead and Thunderburst Storm, 90 damage to the Drillbur to take the knockout. Going to allow him to keep up with the prizes. And I got the mystery set off my prizes. I draw into switch, discard them both to get the Grant back so I can play Grant and get that 30 damage. Increasing Earthquake to 150 so I can take the knockout on the Raging Bolt here. Mystery Set was an interesting card I was trying out to see. It lets you rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck or shuffle them to the bottom, I believe, or put them on the bottom. Ended up cutting that card. Seemed like it would be cool in a Pokestop build with heavy item focus, but I think eventually it did get cut. All right, back to Corey. So now I am up 4 prizes to Corey's 5. And... 'cause, 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 ' So gonna use Tag Call to scout his deck before playing the Crispin. That's what he should have done. Grab Cynthia and Caitlin and Guzman Hala. And he has drawn a lot of his basics, so that Crispin not doing as much work as he's drawn a bunch of cards from his deck. He does still have, I believe, a Water, a Lightning in his hand, in his deck. So gonna play the Guzman Hala here. Discarding the Parallel City and a basic water energy. Looks like he's might be stuck though. Might not have a way to. Needed a way to accelerate energy to this Drudagon. Unfortunately, the Crispin is not going to do it. And no counter energy. And this is why I say counter energy is still mandatory in Dragon decks. I see a lot of people who cut counter energy from their decks, and I think it's too good. It's too good as your second double dragon when in those games where you do fall behind early on. So no counter energy, unfortunately, to get with the Guzman Hala. Gonna grab a Rainbow Energy, as well as U-turn board. And no other stadium. So it looks like he's only got 2 stadiums in this deck, Parallel City and Stormy Mountains. Parallel City just discarded to the cost for Guzman Hala. Not super powerful against my deck. I am not trying to do a bunch of bench setup. I am just trying to hit hard with one attacker at a time. Very low maintenance attackers. So gonna try to set up for next turn with that Drudagon. Gonna sacrifice probably gonna retreat the Dratini with the U-turn board, sacrifice the Dreepy. Importantly is gonna be preserving that lightning energy though, as Dratini is a competent attacker in this Ancient Dragon list with that Dragonite attacking for 180 and has the Dragonair as well. And yeah, so we're just gonna have to sit tight and take another KO from me this time. And I do have the town map here, so now able to take my 3rd prize off of this Donphan. Normally that's really good. The only problem here is the Okidogi is the one thing I don't want on the bench for this Earthquake Rampage to be happening, because you don't really want to be taking a bunch of damage on Okidogi. It's the one Mon in the deck where you're actually trying to tank with it and not take a lot of damage. So now, I mean, you can take a few hits and still have good HP. 230 minus 60 is still 170 HP is on a basics, really good. But we're gonna see in a minute here that it became a problem. So even though I still wanted to take the 3 prizes for sure off the Donphan. It's going to become a problem here, that earthquake damage on the Okidogi. So Corey does promote the Drudagon, which has the Rainbow Energy on it from last turn. So he is going to be able to finally take the Revenge KO on the Donphan here. Attaches the basic water energy from his hand. Looks like he's got Ultra Ball. Still has the Crispin. What does he have? He's used his fire. He could get a fighting energy. He's going to use that Stormy Mountains to get the Koraidon. Crispin to get... He does have there the water energy and a basic fighting. So he could accelerate the water onto the Dragonite and put the fighting in his hand. Or accelerate the fighting onto the Koraidon. Might actually be the better play in case I have a Gust. But he is going to put the water on the Dragonite and the fighting to hand. I think a Dragon, you want to kind of spread out your energy if you get ahead on energy. So that you're not loading it all into one attacker that can get gusted and knocked out. So now I'm going to knock out the Donphan, promoting the Okidogi. But I need to find an energy here, so... Still missing that second energy. Trainer's Mail finds me a Rescue Stretcher. Or a Night Stretcher, excuse me, which is great because that can get me the basic fighting energy that I discarded earlier to my Hapu. And again, part of the way this deck works is it's almost kind of like a dredge deck in Magic. The idea is you're putting stuff into the discard pile very aggressively, but it has lots of ways to get cards out. All right, so Adventurer's Guidance here. 6 cards revealed. We've got a Muscle Band. I'm trying to see what we have. I'll definitely edit it in so you guys will see what cards I'm looking at, but I'm trying to remember what I take here. I know there's a Hisuian Arcanine. Looks like I did take the Muscle Band. There's Fighting Energy. Wish I had shown the camera what I did. And then I made a very big mistake here. You're supposed to discard the rest of the cards you don't take. I shuffled them back in for some reason. I think because I had just played Trainer's Mail. So look at the top, pick one, shuffle it back in. I was totally stuck on Trainer's Mail. And I think I realized as I'm shuffling what I did. No, I put it for cutting and then I'm like, why am I shuffling? Shoot. So I do try to go back in from memory. Let's see if I did get it right. So Arcanine was 1. I know there was a basic Fighting Energy. Oh, Excadrill. There's the Muscle Band. And the basic Fighting Energy going to the discard. And I have, I believe, 5 Pokemon recovery items in this deck. So I'm not too worried about losing the Excadrill there. Alright, here's the Clobbopus, the new one. Does 30 damage for 1 energy and 10 damage to itself. Night Stretcher to get the basic Fighting Energy onto the Okidogi. And gonna take the knockout with the Good Punch. And thanks to the town map, I can take either Growlithe or the Trekking Shoes. I am running low on Pokemon here, so I do take the Growlithe, but it's rough to have to take that right after seeing the Hisuian Arcanine go to the discard pile. And Birdkeeper to switch out the Dragonite. Oh, that's right, he's got free retreat from the Dragonite, so that's how he's able to then pivot back into the Dragonite off the Birdkeeper. Attaches the Fighting Energy Koraidon, retreats for free due to the Dragonite's ability. And here's where, unfortunately, that Earthquake damage stacked up a little bit too much on the Okidogi, as the Dragonite able to take the KO with the 180 damage attack on my 170 HP Okidogi there. Not able to convert that Okidogi into 2 prizes is big part. That's a big part of the game plan of this deck, is to get multiple prizes off of Okidogi. So I am in a rough spot now. So I drew Strong Energy. I have Grant in the discard pile. Evolution Instance in my hand. I need to do 180 here. The Grapploct can do 130 with its main attack. If it weren't for the fact that I have to get a damage counter on this Grapploct to enable the attack, I could have gone Strong Energy, Grant, and done 180. 130, 160, 180. But unfortunately, I have to get the Rainbow Energy to get the damage counter onto the Clobbopus so that I can attack with 1 energy with the Grapploct. That is the combo. The other way that you can get damage counters onto the Clobbopus is through Donphan's Earthquake, if you can get it out early, or you could just attack with it early game. Clobbopus, actually, one of the things I found with Clobbopus is really cool is you can get, if you start off early with it as you're active, you put a Strong Energy and a Muscle Band on it, it hits for 70 damage for 1 energy. That's pretty gnarly. And then it's got the damage counter on it, and then next turn when you evolve it, it's hitting for 170 damage with that combination. But gonna be just doing 130 damage here with this Grapploct, thanks to that Rainbow Energy from the Colress's Tenacity, which also allowed me to find my Pokestop, which is going to allow me to finally bump that Stormy Mountains, which has been feeding Corey basics. I think he would have gotten donked by now if it hadn't been for that Stormy Mountains. So milling off the top, finding a Professor's Letter, discarding Guzma and Lusamine. A little bit unfortunate. I was hoping to find more draw power off of that Pokestop, but the deck is almost 30 items. It is very good with Pokestop, and part of the deck strategy is to recycle the Pokestop with cards like Lusamine. So Professor's Letter, going to play the letter there to grab 2 energy from the deck, thin them out so I don't draw them as my next draw, or mill them off of Pokestop. That would also be annoying. So just going to thin the deck there. And then Rainbow Energy, I'm going to get the damage counter on the Grapploct so I can use that, let's see, that attacked for 130. The Raging Tentacles attack. Gonna have to set up the 2-hit KO on the Dragonite here, unfortunately. Not gonna be able to take the knockout. I think with strong energy in hand, my goal here is to hope I find a way to get the Hisuian Arcanine out of the discard pile, and then I can attack for 0 energy, 30 damage, 50 damage with the strong energy, 80 damage with the 80 damage with Grant, so I could take the knockout. But unfortunately, Corey has the power up for the Koraidon here, and going to be able to pivot out the Dragonite and deny the KO. Night Stretcher to get an energy back. Oh, going to get the Gibble back with the Night Stretcher. And this Koraidon able to shred for 130 damage. Exactly the amount needed to knock out this Grapploct. Not even going to go for the Pokestop. So just going to go for the shred. A little bit unfortunate, the Grapploct having only 140 HP. So basically, if you have enough a damage counter on it, only has 130 HP. Pokestop going to find me a Evo Soda and a Bicycle, which is nice. If I could find a Super Rod or an Ordinary Rod to get that Hisuian Arcanine back in the deck, that would help. But I don't think I have a way to do that. So I've currently got 2 Fighting Energies, Strong Energy, Evo Soda. Looks like I got Practice Studio as my draw. But I don't have a Hisuian Arcanine in the deck. It's in the discard pile, so I need to find a way to get it back into the deck. Had to discard my Super Rod earlier. Now I'm going to just try to thin my hand down to draw with the Bicycle. So Practice Studio, going to pop the Pokestop. Strong Energy onto the Growlithe. Going to discard 2 Fighting Energy to get Grant back into my hand and play it. I'm in a rough spot though. I don't think I can do the damage I need to do. So Bicycle finds Riolu, Buddy Poffin, Versus Seeker, and Nest Ball. So at least I'm not getting donked next turn. That's good. And just gonna dump Buddy Poffin, fail to find since Riolu is my last basic. Nest Ball also going to fail to find. And unfortunately did not draw the recovery item I needed, so I'm going to just have to go for the burn here. Holding on to the Nest Ball in case I find my Ordinary Rod. Takes 20 damage from the burn. Unfortunately is not augmented by the Strong Energy at all, since it's just condition damage. Level Ball by Corey. Going to grab that Gabite. And it's not looking good. Going from that early lead, taking 3 prizes from the Dawn Fan. And unfortunately, that Earthquake damage came back to bite me. And that Dragonite was able to not only take the 1-hit KO on the Okidogi, but also tank a hit from my follow-up attacker with that 180 HP. And I think he just tried to evolve Garchomp. Yeah, so nope, can't do that. Just evolved Gabite. And since it's 2 prizes to 2 prizes, just needs to take the 2 knockouts here. Gonna shred, take 20 more damage. Goes down to 90 HP. If I can find my Lucario, at least I could take the knockout here on this Koraidon. Versus Seeker, maybe for the Karina. Could get Ordinary Rod and Lucario to take the knockout, but yeah, there we go. You get the Ordinary Rod to get a basic for Nest Ball. Oh, I'm gonna take the Lusamine. Gonna Lusamine for Pokestop and Brooklet Hill instead. I wonder if my Rod was gone. So Pokestop gets 3 items. Got the Escape Rope, the Judge Whistle, and the Rescue Stretcher. So I could shuffle in 2 Pokemon with the Rescue Stretcher. Is the Lucario in the discard pile? So we're going to use the Rescue Stretcher. Shuffle back in the Okidogi, the Excadrill, and probably the Drillbur. I guess I didn't have the energy in hand to make the Lucario play work. Judge Whistle. Oh, did I just... Oh yeah, that Nest Ball to get it back. Judge Whistle finds the Poke Gear, or no, Poke Nav. Judge Whistle, or excuse me, the Pickaxe, Gutsy Pickaxe finds the Ordinary Rod. And it just looks like I just scooped it up there. Yeah, I think maybe I could have found another way to win. The Lucario was in the deck. I wonder if I should have gotten the Karina instead. Gotten the Super Rod. Shuffled some energy back in. Yeah, not sure. But that was a really fun game. I enjoyed playing this matchup a lot with Corey. Let me know, you guys, what do you think I could have done with this end game here, if it was winnable or if just not going to come back from that end game that Corey had set up with the Dragonite. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys being patient as I took a break through the holiday season, and hopefully I'll be able to get back to our league and get some games in, or maybe get some videos from our folks while I am hunkered down with family here for the holidays. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great one.